Hello, I'm Czardus, and let's play Cities Skylines 2. Now, today, in the next episode of the Beginner's Guide series that I'm doing, we are back in Shelbyville, and we are going to go through and build things from the tiny village milestone. So let's go ahead and jump in here and see what that has. So we have unlocked a loan, so we can take out a loan. We have also unlocked map tiles, so we can buy more map tiles. And the city budget, we can look at that. City statistics, we can look at that. And we'll go through all of these things a little at a time. In fact, let's just go through them. So loans, you can get loans by going to your money and then going up here to loans. And you can take out a loan as much as you want. You can increase your loan by using this. But you see, as we increase that, the interest rate is going up, and you can see that we're going to have monthly cost doing that. And this down here shows what your budget would look like with some of that. So of course it is going to increase your expenses there. So I don't recommend doing loans unless you are in a terrible position that you have to have a loan. And in that situation, I recommend that you only take a loan to do something that is going to fix your budget problem. And most of the time, you won't need to do that, especially if you follow the steps in this beginner's guide. Okay, so that is loans. Let's take a look at what's next. Map tiles. Now, map tiles, if we come here to the map view, down in the bottom left, I clicked on map tiles. You can buy more tiles. You can see we started with 9 here, and we can buy any of these tiles. It does not have to be connected to what we're doing. In fact, I'm clicking and dragging and selecting a whole bunch of other tiles. Right now it has 71 that I've selected, and we don't have that many permits. We only have 3 permits, so we can't buy that many. But if we wanted to, we could say expand out this way and buy those 3 tiles. Or of course, we could, let's see, if I right click, yeah. If you click and then you right click on it, you can deselect it. We could go over here and select 2 tiles like that. Or we could go straight like that. There's so many different things you can do with that, but we're not going to use those just yet. I wanted to show you how it works though. Let's go ahead and zoom out so we can keep an eye on the city while we're talking. Progression, back to this, the milestone that we had. So we talked about here, we got a grant, and we got 3 expansion permits that we could use. And now budget. Oh yeah, here. This is development points. We'll get to that too in a moment. But city budget, we've unlocked that. You can click on it by clicking on the money here, or you can click on city economy, and that will bring you to the budget tab here. And now we can see our budget and how we're doing. You can see that we have taxes coming in. We can't see the detail of that yet. We're not a small village. We can see the service fees that we are generating from our utilities and education and healthcare, which actually we don't have education or healthcare. So all of that is coming from probably our water utilities. Service trade, we're not selling any water or power, so we don't have any revenue there. And government subsidies, we're getting that from the external government. They're saying that, okay, you're a really small town, you need to be able to provide these services, so we are going to give you extra money. Expenses, we have subsidies. We're not paying anybody with negative tax rates to do anything, so we don't have subsidies. Service upkeeps, we have a ton of that right now, and that's probably why we have such a big government subsidy. And then service trade, we are buying electricity, so we're spending $8,200 on that, and we have no loan interest. So that is where we can look at the budget. Next on the list is city statistics. If you go over here, so down in the bottom right, and click on city statistics, you can see all kinds of graphs that give you information about your city. And I like to pay attention to unemployment, which is coming down. Right now, it is at about -10%, it looks like. Can we see this view yet, the population view? we can. So actually, unemployment is 0%, which is what I expected. So that is where it's at. You can see a little bit more information. We'll take a look at the info views in a little bit as well. We've unlocked medium density housing, row housing. You can see now instead of 3 demand things, we have 4, because that divides out. And if you click on this, you can get more detail. We have now low density residential and medium density residential. And then you can see we also have commercial and industrial. And this gives you a little bit of information about how it's calculating what demand you have. Next up, we have unlocked more roads, 4-lane divided, 4-lane asymmetric, and other ones. Then we have healthcare and death care. If you click on these here, healthcare and death care is in here. And the medical clinic you don't necessarily need, because people will go to other cities to get their healthcare. They won't like it, and they might move out of the city if they have to do that too much. But for now, that's something that you can just have other cities taking care of. You don't need to have a medical clinic right away. We'll wait on that until we feel comfortable with our budget. A cemetery, though, it does really help to have hearses in your town to pick up the dead. Like we've got right here, you can see this icon waiting for a hearse. So they called for a hearse a while ago. So we're going to go ahead and get a cemetery in here. And I think we'll put it up on the hill. Up here might be good. Yeah, I think this would be a good spot for it. So one thing we can do that is different from Cities Skylines 1, if you've played that, is you can build without having built the roads yet. So we're going to go ahead and we'll get this like that. You can see it messed up the terrain a tiny bit. We'll do a little bit of fixing on that in a moment, but I want to get the road in place first. We'll do a 2-lane road right in front of it. And we want it about here. And in fact, I'm going to go right in the center there. Come down the hill. So that changed it a little bit. And then we are going to bring this road over this way. And we're watching that gradient a little bit. We're at about 4%. And then I want to get a nice slope in, or a nice curve in here. I'm switching to the simple curve. We'll come down like that. Another 5%. So we do curve up that way and go up the hill to our cemetery, which is now working. So you'll notice we got 300 points for building, 300 experience points for building that. And so we are progressing a bit more towards the next milestone. So I've paused it so we can continue to talk about the different stuff. Then the last thing we have is garbage management. You can build a landfill right now, but we're not real. Well, the thing is that if you build a landfill, you're going to have to pay for it. But we don't have to build a landfill because we can send our sewage out. Or not our sewage, but our trash out. And that's not showing up yet, but it will start exporting our trash. So we don't really have to do the landfill. So we're going to hold off on that just a little bit. Now let's look at info views that we've unlocked. We have healthcare and death care now. So you can take a look and see how people are. And of course, we don't have any healthcare, but we do now have that cemetery with 5,000 capacity. Garbage management, again, we don't have any garbage, so we will be exporting that. Then we also unlocked the building level, which can show us the different levels of the buildings. As people have more money, they will reinvest that into upgrading their residence or their business to a higher level, which will generate higher tax revenue for you. So you want to make sure that your people and your businesses are doing well financially. Population, we can look at this info view now and we can see our birth rate, our death rate, how many people moved in, how many people are moving away, jobs that are available, and how many people are employed, and then percentage of unemployment. I like to target between 5 and 10% unemployment. So what I want to do is, right now, we want to add more people. We have a lot of jobs available. We want to focus on adding more people, even though our demand is showing we have that commercial demand. If we fulfill that commercial demand, we will be getting more jobs, which will not help this unemployment rate. And then in turn, our company profitability will continue to suffer because they don't have enough employees to be profitable. So we need to get more people. Coming back to this, you can then see your age distribution. We have a lot of adults. We have some children and some seniors, but this is all working age too, adults. So the adults are working age, but we don't have enough people to fill the jobs. Happiness will show you how happy people are, and now we can see the happiness factors, which if we go down here to the bottom right, we can also see that and see what people are happy about, what they're unhappy about. Right now, they're unhappy about the healthcare coverage, but they're going to have to wait on that for reasons that we've talked about. Building wealth or citizen wealth, we can see that. Over here, the residences, we can see who's wealthy and who's not. Workplace availability, we can see that there's a lot of jobs available right here by the painting on here. And although it still shows workplaces kind of low. And then these are all existing still. Okay, so with all that in mind, let's go ahead and start adding more people. And I think we'll just continue adding out into this area now. So we're going to go to roads, and then we'll pay attention to the contours and kind of do the same thing that we've done over here. So I'll go ahead and do that off camera. Okay, so we've got this filled in a bit now. We're with roads. I want to take a break from building that, and I want this area in here to still be available for government or for any city service buildings that are needed. So first we're going to fix a little bit of the terrain. So I've gone to landscaping, and then I'm doing level terrain. I'm going to right click on the height that I want, which is like the height of the cemetery. And then I'm going to left click just to do that out a little bit. It won't let me do it outside of our city limit, but that's okay because all I wanted to do is get this part a little bit smoother. And now we'll do soften terrain, and I'm just going to left click in here, and that just smoothed that side out a little bit. Now I'm going to just make this look a little bit like a park, and we can't get too close to the path here. See, it tries to connect and it gets mad. So what we'll do instead is we'll run a path right alongside it. We'll bring that all the way down to the road, and then we can come in and we can connect some paths like this. And to get a crosswalk to show, what you want to do is you want to click, and then you just want to bring it into the road a little bit. And it will put a crosswalk in there, and it will even have a street light there. So, and then if you wanted to, I think, but we don't have these unlocked yet, so we won't do that yet. But at some point, you might be able to add like a stop sign or something there. Now we're going to bring this path over this way. And I think we'll bring it right down like this. And then bring this one up like that. So now we have this little bit of a park coming in, and now we're going to go to vegetation. And I want to make this a little bit forested. So we're going to do multiple trees. We're going to make a smaller brush, and we want oak. So we'll put some oak in here, and then we'll get a little bit of spruce and a little bit of hickory. And that area will be now a little bit forested, so that the trees will take time to grow, but eventually they'll be as big as this. So like here's a birch, here's a spruce, and here are the ones we just planted here. So you can see that they will grow into that. Now I'm going to go ahead and zone all of this with low density residential. I'm not quite ready to actually put in medium density, and I'll explain why in just a moment. Okay, so this is all filled in. We're gonna let the game run and let things grow in here. And I wanted to talk just real quick about the budget. Down here, by hovering over the money, you can see the current trend is negative per hour, about 1,500 per hour. And so I'm not ready to build a medical clinic, because a medical clinic will cost us $105,000 per month, which let me do quick math here. I think the way the game works is you take that and divide it by 24, because remember, a month is 1 day of the, 1 month is equal to 24 hours. So if we take that, divide it by 24 hours, that's about $4,400 per hour, which is much more than what we have. I mean, we're losing money. So that would really make that a worse situation for our budget. And that's why we don't want to build it. We're going to speed up the game. And then the medium density, we could build some of that, but we don't really have a spot for it yet. I want to figure out where our city center is going to be before we build that. And we have to think about that a little bit because of the terrain. Let's see, the terrain contour lines, we want to come over here to see them. That'll be the easiest way. The contour lines, the terrain isn't great for building a city center on these hills. I think what we're going to need to do is probably get a little bit closer, like maybe along here is where we want to do some of that, in which case we'll get a little bit of a downtown built and then we'll start to get row housing away from there. But for now, we're doing fine with low density. Nobody's complaining about any of that. So what we'll do now is watch that unemployment rate, and I'm going to continue to add low density until that unemployment rate comes up. So now let's look to see where else we want to add. I think we'll go ahead and start building down into this direction, but I also want to keep these trees in place. So what we're going to do is do a little bit of realistic building. And first of all, let's go ahead and extend this road down here. And we've got a road here for our what is that? The word is escaping me, but we're going to upgrade this sub power thing. What? Man, I gotta look it up. Transformer. Okay, there we go. There we go. So this road is an arterial, and we want it to continue, even though I didn't really want to put the transformer on that, but that was before we really decided to put this arterial over here. So we're going to keep it there for now. Eventually it'll have to move because I don't like having it there just for the look of it. We don't really have any service stuff going to it, so it's not a huge deal, but I don't think realistically it would be on a major road like that. But this can come down here, and now we can start building out over this way. And I think eventually this will come down farther. And if we are talking about having the center of the city be here, then yeah, we would definitely have an arterial coming down that way. But let's go ahead and get the roads in place here. So I was thinking we want to pay attention to this forest. And so we're going to come off this way and build up like this. Then we're going to have a bit of a slope, but this is a very gentle slope here now. And up here, what I want to do is we're actually going to have a pretty interesting intersection here. We'll go like that. So it splits off a little bit, but I also want to be able to get people to go in the other direction. So we'll have like a three-way thing there. And that'll be interesting. But then we can also bring these roads in. Let's bring this down like this. And then the same thing with this one. And then we'll just get one more road going across here in order to have good traffic. So now we've expanded a little bit that way. And then we'll be able to, I think, come in over here yet too. But let's go ahead and check our unemployment. 0% still. So let's go ahead and we'll zone in here. Okay, so we have low density residential over this way, which is another thing we wanted. And you'll notice that I'm still leaving it off of the arterials just because we might want to get our commercial there. But again, we still have, our unemployment is starting to come up, which means soon we should be able to add more to that. And we probably are seeing profitability improving a little bit. Industry profit hasn't, but commercial profit has, which is good. And so we'll go ahead, we'll let that come in, but we also, you can see we're getting a little bit of rain coming in right now. The last thing I also wanted to talk about is the development point. So we have one development point right now. I don't have anything I want to use it on. But if you wanted to, you could use it for like advanced road services, which would give you more control over traffic lights and decorations and stuff like that. Or you could use it on roundabouts, pretty much anything with, or yeah, and not just pretty much, but anything on the tree that only requires 1 point, you could use your 1 point on. But like I said, there's nothing I want to spend them on just yet. So we're not going to do that yet. And I think we've talked about everything on here now. Yeah, so now we are working towards that next milestone by adding more people, and our progression is increasing. I want to develop in here now. So we've got some grid here. I think we'll go ahead and continue the grid a little bit here, and then we're going to get into our hills the same way we've done all those ones. So I have the streets made here, and what I'm doing, actually, I meant to come all the way down here, but what I was about to say is that I'm going to leave the space here, because I think we'll probably see the industry come all the way here, and I don't want houses too close to that. It wouldn't be awful, especially once we get medical care inside the city, but you know, I think we talked last time about the air pollution, and we don't want to have air pollution too close to our residential, but I'm going to go ahead and zone this with low density residential as well. All right, so then I'm going to leave along the arterial empty, and I'm going to leave this space empty of any housing as well. And then over here, I'm not quite ready to fill these in because I don't know where the road is going to be yet, so I don't want to disrupt the homes too much. But let's go ahead and unpause here, and we're probably going to hit that milestone pretty quickly. But we can also come over here. We've got a condemned thing here. It's going to be demolished soon because it is saying that it's outside the zoning grid, so we'll just go ahead and speed that along and get rid of that. I don't know why it thought it was, because there is space there, but that's all right. But our city is growing pretty well, and our population is going up. Our budget is getting a little bit better, but not quite there yet. Pretty soon, we are going to get more unemployment. That went back down to 0. But once that is up, we'll be able to get more businesses in place. But if you come over here and click on a business, you can see they don't have enough employees, so they're not fully efficient. This one does, so they're at 107%. That one has enough employees. That one, so we're getting closer. And that will improve the profitability and also improve our unemployment to a point where we will be able to start zoning more like we've been talking about. So that is really good. And any moment now, we're going to hit that next milestone, and then I'll be ready to move on. Oh, there. Yep, there. That house got built, got mad for a moment, and then it realized it was okay. Like we said, oh, no, I don't know what's happening with that road, or with that house. But it is... there we go. Small village. Milestone 2, we are now at Small Village, so we are ready to stop for today. Be sure to click on the video on the screen now. It will take you to one that you will enjoy watching, I guarantee it. But thanks for watching today, and I will catch you next time. Take care.